Lois Kreuzer aqui e o vídeo de hoje é uma entrevista com o elenco de Julie e os Fantasmas, que estreou na Netflix dia 10 de setembro e tem a produção executiva do Kenny Ortega, que já esteve envolvido em outros trabalhos musicais como High School Musical. Ele também tá nessa entrevista e ele, gente, é um querido, vocês vão ver aí a vibe dele e como ele é um apaixonado pela série original, que a série foi baseada, que é a série original brasileira Julie e os Fantasmas, que na época foi feita pela Rede Bandeirantes e pela Nickelodeon aqui no Brasil. E eu tive essa oportunidade de conversar com eles um pouquinho sobre as possibilidades para a segunda temporada, também os números musicais que fizeram a gente amar tanto essa série. Então eu espero que vocês gostem dessa conversa, assim como eu gostei de fazer, porque tá super divertida.
Desde que a mamãe morreu, todo mundo tem ficado em cima de mim como se eu fosse pirar alguma hora. Eu não aguento mais isso. Me desculpa, mãe.
Uou! Como é que a gente veio parar aqui?
Opa, calma! Até parece que eu vi um fantasma.
First of all, Charlie, tomorrow is your birthday, right?
No.
No? So Google is wrong.
It is. We just had an interview with Pop Buzz not too long ago, and I told them I'm not 5'6", I'm not born September 16th. We went through it.
I even wrote a joke. I was going to say happy birthday, Luke, but that's okay. In my channel, you are talking to a Brazilian audience, so I need to ask, did you watch the Brazilian show?
I'm a fan of the Brazilian show. Yes, I watched the Brazilian show. And we wouldn't be here talking to you today had it not been for the success of Julie e os Fantasmas. And to all of Brazil who have been following us, this new production, and to all of the fans of the original and to the wonderful cast who have reached out to us and given us their love and support. We thank you, all of you. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. The show was good. I mean, I remember like finding out about it and knowing that it was actually from Brazil. I was like, wow, like knowing that I could be the person who can kind of carry on the torch now and just, you know, bring back this lovely show that so many fans have loved was so exciting because I know like how much it means to certain people. And, I was, ready to, make sure that it was the best that it could be. And, the fans are so incredible and I love them all so very much. And, if it wasn't for them, then we wouldn't have blown up as much as we did. And I love them all. And I hope that someday I get to meet them all.
Yeah, we kind of all sat together and watched
we all watched it together, I think. And it was after we got the show, it was like, just out of curiosity, and it's been so cool to talk to the original cast too. They've all been super, super awesome. And I think like having that like support also when you're doing something is so nice because you don't want it to be like the original people. They're like, this new show is horrible. Like that would be such a bad experience.
Like Bruno, Mari, Fabio, like they message us. They message me all the time, at least. Like they watched it. Their parents were crying, and it's like it's such a cool reaction to see like the OG Julian Phantoms kind of like loving the show. I think that's so cool. I think we all think it's so cool.
100%.
I actually, when I first heard about the show, I had looked it up and I saw the trailer and she was singing Sweet Child of Mine. And I totally remember watching the trailer for the show. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole show though.
I didn't get to see any of it. I think it was for the best for me. I wanted to create something new and I knew whatever Kenny did would be super, unique, but I'd like to now. It'd be fun to see it now.
Julie and the Phantoms is a series that talks about discovering your purpose. When and how did you discover that you love acting and singing?
I think my parents discovered it for me, I guess. Basically, it was during our hockey games, and for some reason, I would, instead of following the puck and trying to figure out how to play the game, I would stand in the middle of the ice with the whole audience, all the parents watching, and I'd play like air guitar for them. And then the next day, my mom signed me up for acting class. So kind of happened like that.
That's so funny.
I started musical theater when I was 10, and I've done it until now. And I think I've done like roughly 20 to 25 musicals. So music's always been a really big part of my life, and drums. And when this audition came around, it was kind of perfect. It was like a perfect little package for me. It had everything I loved, comedy and drums and singing. So probably since I was like 10.
Based off of what Ohm was saying too, like you get a lot of auditions for like guitar players and someone who plays bass. Like anytime they're like guitar player audition, you're like, yeah, I can play guitar, and you kind of like do like a little bit, but it's not that good. So when I got an audition for someone who's actually specifically like a bass player who could also sing and was comedy and acting, like I was so stoked because that just never happens. And I have been literally acting and singing since I was like 6 years old. So from a very early age, I just knew that that's something I wanted to be a part of. And I love movies and TV and music. And I just love entertaining. I love making people laugh, making them smile. Literally, I was in a kind of punk alternative pop rock band called Make Up Monday for a few years. We did a full album before this show. And I feel like that was like such a great prep to be in Sunset Curve, which the music's genre of my band and Sunset Curve were like so similar that I was like, I got this. This is perfect. I know what I'm doing.
It wasn't really until I moved out here that I found out about musicals and stuff. You know, I watched High School Musical growing up, and I always wanted to, you know, be just like Gabriella, but I didn't think any of that stuff was like real. I didn't know that, you know, art schools were, you know, a real thing. So, you know, after maybe like 2 years of, you know, doing musicals at school and, you know, being in the shows, you know, school choir and church choir and just getting my hands on anything that I could, I found out about an art school out here called Arts Academy. And I decided to, you know, audition for it, and I got in, and it was the, you know, the best choice that I could make because it eventually led me to find out about Julie and the Phantom. So, you know, my passion has just grown. You know, even when I was younger, I always liked to sing and dance and stuff like that. So I've always been into it.
My father is in this, like in the business also. So I grew up going to sets and sleeping on sets and being on sets all the time. And it was always something I loved to do. Like it was my favorite thing just to be on set. And, but probably when I was like 15 years old, I decided that I really wanted to do it myself. And I was actually, oddly enough, just watching a movie. It was The Dark Knight. Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker. It was the first thing that hit me where it's like, this is what I want to do. And I just thought there was so much like depth there. And it was so interesting. And it just was, I mean, it's the only thing that I can ever see myself doing. And I don't know, ever since then, I started watching like 2 movies a day. I got into just the history of film and everything about movies. And I know the passion and just the craze for wanting to watch movies and needing to learn more about them started when I was 15.
I was 13. And the touring company of Les Miserables came to our little town in Washington State. And I didn't even know that you could do that for a living. And that was the first time I thought, ooh, I want to do that. I want to sing and tell stories and create art. And that's what I want to do. So yeah, from 13 on.
How was the creative process to make the songs?
We worked with Colleen Fitzpatrick at Netflix, the music supervisor, vice president of music at Netflix. Once Dan Cross and Dave Hoge, the writers, and I sort of created an outline through the series of where we felt music was going to best, you know, structure in. Then Colleen helped us bring in brilliant songwriter producers, and the songwriting began. And then once we cast Madison and Jeremy and Owen and Charlie, then we could have writers start to really write for them. And then of course, Madison and Charlie wrote a song for the series, Perfect Harmony. So they actually even contributed as writers to this first soundtrack.
Boo Boo, will we have Willie on any musical solo? Would you like to perform any?
I don't know. I was really happy just doing the dance. Like that was, it's really nerve-wracking for when you have to film those sequences, honestly, because it's almost like doing a live performance, or it is, you are doing a live performance essentially. I mean, it's not live, but you know, if you mess up, you mess up. So it's, to me, it's really nerve-wracking. So I'm kind of happy just dancing.
And do you believe that in the second season, you will further explore the background story of your characters and their unfinished business?
I hope so. I mean, I haven't heard about a second season for sure, but it's looking good in that direction. I know that the writers have already planned it, and I think they are writing. I think it may be already written, and I know it's really popular, and Kenny was very excited. I always like to dig deeper and see why people make the decisions that they make, and I think it would be really fun to dig deeper.
I couldn't agree more. There's so much to be learned about both of our characters. I can't wait to see how the relationship unfolds with Alex, and just hopefully you get to hear a little bit more and see a little bit more in depth on like how our characters came to be. and why they are who they are today, and where we're going from where we left off.
You know that we are already attached to the band, but if you could decide the future of your characters, would you make the passage or continue on Earth forever?
I would like to stay on Earth. That way we can keep getting seasons and I keep working.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Great answer. I feel like it'll probably end up being different for every character. I'm curious to see kind of where throughout the rest of the show we end up. I feel like it's one of those things where if our characters end up having really strong connections with humans in the show, that it'll kind of, make them want to stay and kind of grow up and live out the rest of their life. But yeah, I don't know. When we see the unfinished business being done, maybe that's they've made their mark and they've done their thing. So I don't know.
Can we talk about a second season already?
If the world wants it, we put it, it's up to you now. You have to tell your friends.
Yeah.
We're just waiting now. But if the world is joining us and embracing the idea, and then we want to come back, right, Maddie?
Yes, we'd love to. We constantly talk about it. Things that could come out of the second season, and more things that we can add for the fans to fall in love with and get to know. And we're just hoping for the best.
Kenny, I saw in another interview that you would love to join the cast of the original series. How would you do this collision of universes?
When the world opens up again and we're able to travel and to interact with people and that I'm hoping, I know Madison and the boys, all of us are hoping that one day that we will be able to tour. And I can't imagine a more exciting place to go to than to Brazil and to be able to invite the original cast to join us to celebrate the success of Julie and the Phantoms as an international, a global idea.
Thank you guys so much. I love the show.
Thank
you so much.
Good. Oh, it's so nice talking to you.
Natalia.
Yes,
Thank you so much,
Have a great
Brazil.
day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.